So, you got my money?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to 10K Bets. I'm Mike. I'll be your host tonight. And with me, we got Renz and Sammy Stats. Sammy, how we doing?
We are great. We're back. It's NFL Divisional weekend. There's sports galore. Couldn't really be any worse, to be honest. So, it's good. We're excited. There's 4 really, really good games. We got some PGA. We got what else we got? We got some UFC. It's a good weekend. We're almost there. It's Thursday. Excited for sure.
Hell yeah. Renz, how we doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for hosting, Mike. Kind of have like a Jordan sick game here a little bit. Little cough. So if I cough without muting, I apologize in advance. But no, I am also excited. I had a okay weekend betting last weekend. I think I'm going to turn around pretty good this weekend. I'm kind of just going to go ahead and say with my bets for divisional round playoffs, I'm going 4-0.
Nice.
Bold prediction now. So, yeah, get ready.
You can feel it in his plums.
Yeah, no shit.
Dude, we gotta cherish them all. There's only 7 games left of the NFL season, and it's crazy. And I was like, I have mixed emotions about this weekend because it's like I don't want to see the Lions and the Packers in the NFC Championship, but I will.
But do you?
Regardless, no, not at all. Like, I think that we'll get into it in the moment, but like I think that's like ultimate bad vibes for a Vikings fan.
Yeah.
Even if the Lions have been bad for however, and like I said, we'll get into it. But speaking of getting into it, I want to tell you guys about the easiest way to get some action on sports. It's Underdog Fantasy and their pick'em game. Just pick higher or lower on your favorite or least favorite players' stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. Underdog keeps it super simple with their easy-to-use website and mobile apps. Pick between 2 and 5 players and fill out your pick'em entry. Get every pick right and take home some cold, hard cash. Use code 10K and get your first deposit doubled up to $100 with Underdog.
Bang.
Ooh,
Let's
nice
go.
work, Mike.
Yeah. Rattled that one off nicely.
Yeah, I had to throw in the favorite or least favorite with the Lions and Packers that we had alluded to. But, I mean, I think I'm ready to just get right into these games.
Yeah, let's jump into it.
First game, we have the Texans visiting the Ravens in Baltimore. The Ravens are favored by 9, and then the total is 43.5. Sammy, what do we got for a play on this game?
So I got a 6-point teaser. It's going to move from one game into the next. I'm a huge fan of the Texans right now. I'm telling you right now, I would not be shocked if they pull the upset. I know it's 9.5 points. I know they're in Baltimore. This Texans team is flying right now. Not only on the offensive side where they're putting up 30 plus points in the last couple of weeks, but the defensive side has actually kind of stepped up too. They've been really, really solid down the stretch. It's pretty square because I know a lot of people so far, especially in Vegas, are on the Texans as well. But I'm going a 6-point teaser. I'm going to take the Texans plus 15.5. I think that's way too many points for a divisional game. I know they're on the road, but giving 15.5 to CJ, I'm going to take it all day. And I'm going to pair that up, and we can get more. We can get into this game a little more, but I'm going to pair that up with the Chiefs plus 8.5. Again, giving Mahomes 8.5 points. I know he's on the road, hasn't been there a lot, especially in the playoffs. But either way, the Chiefs have a top 5 defense. I am going with the Texans plus 15.5 and the Chiefs plus 8.5 on a teaser. I might get into some more specific bets for the Texans game on Underdog. I like CJ Stroud's passing yards. I like Nico Collins' receiving yards. But as far as wagers go, 6.5 point teaser there with the Texans plus 15.5, Chiefs plus 8.5.
Nice. Renz, what do we got?
Kind of on the similar thought pattern as Sammy Stats. Kind of like with everyone. Everyone's kind of riding the Texans. That Texans money line play. That's a tempting one to at least. I mean, I probably will. I'll probably throw a little sprinkle on it just because. I mean, you can cover some bets if you hit that little sprinkle. And I think there's a good chance. The Ravens, they're a good team, obviously, but I mean, it's tough to say. I'm not sold on Lamar. I don't know why. I'm not 100% sold on Lamar. And
not to mention, and here we got Cam in here. Cameron.
Stone cold.
Cam.
Stop.
God, he looks
boy.
great. Just looks great. Yeah.
There he is. Still got the mohawk. Love it.
Renz, I'm with you though. The Ravens playoff Lamar hasn't been very good in the playoffs. I understand different year. And the Ravens pretty much have everything going for them right now. But if we're
so do the Texans.
I mean, it's tough to lay 8.5 or 9 with Lamar in that game. But yeah, I hear you.
The first game you guys have talked about.
This is the first game.
Yeah.
Texans with the points is probably my favorite play all weekend.
I agree.
That's what I'm taking.
I'm actually picking. I have a pick'em that goes in through the playoffs. I'm picking the Texans to win.
Ooh, bold move, Cotton. See how it plays out. I like it.
Are actually going to win, but what is it? What was
plus 9 is what the odds on better edge.
Yeah, plus 9. I think it's too many points.
Mm-hmm.
For the same exact reasons that you guys already said. Since I mentioned.
And Cam, you came in at like the perfect time. Renz was setting us up for it's set up as a nice little cliffhanger. Renz, are you going to take the points or are you going to hammer down on the money line?
My main bet's going to be the points plus 9. I'm going to put my normal, probably 1, maybe 2 unit bet on it. Like I said, I really like a plus 9. I like that. And like I said, maybe like a half unit play on Texans money line. Maybe, like I said, just a little sprinkle. If they both hit, fantastic. If somehow only the main bet hits, that's okay too. But I like it. And then I also like for
go. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, yeah. And for an underdog pick'em, I like Lamar higher on 9.5 rushing attempts. I think he's going to get frustrated. And I think if they're ever down in this game, I think he's going to try to take it into his own hands and try to win it on his own, which is going to turn into him running, scrambling, trying to win the game with his legs. So,
yeah, it feels kind of like a game that Justin Tucker hits like a 68-yard field goal to win. So, yeah, give me the 9 points on better edge. I don't know if I'm going to play that straight just because I got him in the teaser at plus 15.5. But yeah, I just think it's too many for a divisional game, and I just don't be surprised if the Texans like win by 14 or something crazy.
It'd be wild, and I would love every second of it.
That'd be great. I just can't I mean, yeah, we didn't have a single game in the wild card round where we were all on the same play, which I'm going to break that streak right now, and I'm going to take Texans plus 9. But I just think the one thing, like, we have the rust versus rest element with the Ravens, but I want to talk about CJ Stroud a little bit more. Like, he's just a big game quarterback. Like, he just shows up baller in any big game of any sort. And I don't want to hear it from the Michigan fans in the comments. I don't want to hear any of that. But you looked at the way he played against Georgia, how he played against the Browns last week. I like to think he's going to show up and do it again this week. And then we have the issue with Lamar, like Renz alluded to. I don't know. In the playoffs, I don't know. So we'll see.
See you, Cam.
See you, Cam, I guess. Not good enough, I guess. All right.
I think you're spot on with that. Would I be surprised if the Ravens just smoked them? Not in a million years. I would not be surprised because the Ravens, they absolutely whooped on the 49ers, who are a very good team. But I just don't know, and he's back. I just don't know if that's going to be the case.
Yeah,
right.
Sorry. For some reason, I got logged out of our StreamYard, so I can't see any of the comments, and I was trying to log in, but it kicked me out, so I was like, I'll just do it next time.
Yeah, I did want to go over a couple underdog ones before we move on to the next game. But, yeah, I have CJ Stroud higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. I have Nico Collins as well in this game with higher than 80 and a half receiving yards. Yeah, so those two are the ones I like the most. And then there's a third one that I just added in as a little kicker. Odell Beckham over or higher than 31 and a half receiving yards. So those three, I put those together.
Before I got kicked out, I wanted to comment on your Stroud thing. I'm ready to admit I was wrong, which I don't admit very often because I'm not really my word. CJ Stroud is the best quarterback in this draft class. I was all aboard Anthony Richardson, and I still could be right about that because he got hurt, but Stroud is different.
Yeah.
And if there's any rookie quarterback that can win a big game like this, it's him.
He's so good. He's very fun to watch.
Houston's going to be good for such a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited for them because I like the Texans.
And you know who's really good in that defense too that doesn't get enough credit? Gopher alum Cashman is he's a stud. I was watching the last game versus the Browns, just watching him like on a few plays. He is so good. He's so underrated. Nobody ever talks about him, and he's making big time plays.
I'm really happy for him too because he struggled when he came into the NFL. He bounced around a little bit, but he found a home in Houston, and he's killing it.
Yeah,
he's badass. Really? The Gophers are like anytime they have an NFL defenseman come in, like they're usually pretty good.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about another one here in a little bit.
Yeah.
I know you're all excited about, but let's move on to the Saturday night cap. We have Packers, unfortunately, visiting the Niners. The Niners on better edge are favored by 9.5 points with a total of 50 on the dot. This time we'll start with Renz. What do we got in this one?
I don't know, these big spreads, they're tough. I mean, they're tough to play. Tough to play the favorites. 9.5 points is a lot of points, especially in the playoffs. I mean, these playoff games are usually pretty tight. And kind of the same thing. I'm Brock Purdy. He's obviously proven himself. He's a good quarterback. And they're one injury away. They're a Brock Purdy injury or a Christian McCaffrey injury away from completely fucking imploding. I mean, it's a tough game. I mean, it's a tough game to bet, but I'm leaning towards the Packers. I hate to say it. I don't think they're going to win the game, but I could easily see them keeping it within 9.5 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Cam, you've been wrong about a few things. You've been wrong about Gopher men's basketball this year too. You admitted that though. And you're also wrong about the Luis Ariz Pablo Lopez trade. But that's baseball. We're talking football. Continue on.
Whoa! Wow! he was really quick with that jab. We got to pause.
Yeah, but what's next? Who you got in this game?
First of all, you can't throw that in there. We won that trade. Second of all, talk to me about Gopher here in about 20-25 minutes. Third of all, Niners minus 9.5 is what I'm going with. This is the typical, like the Packers were. No one thought they would win. They murdered the Cowboys. They're going to walk into San Francisco and just get pounded. The Packers, they're not good. They're not a good team. It's the Cowboys choke every year. Granted, I didn't see it coming at all, but the Niners are legit. The Niners are probably going to the Super Bowl, and they are going to beat the Packers by 14 at least.
Yep. Yeah, I can agree with that. Not to mention the Packers have been absolutely pounded by the 49ers every time they play them in the playoffs. Like, it hasn't been close. That being said, my play, I'm going with the over 50. I think the 49ers are going to score at least 30, and I'm hoping that Green Bay's offense will be able to put up maybe 17. I think it's going to be one of those games. I think it just flies over, similar to the Dallas game. Flew over. There's like 85 points in that. I think the 49ers are going to have their way with their offense, the way they click when they get going. They're at home. But I think the Packers, like, I don't think they get curb stomped like 40-0. Like, I think they'll be able to score some points here. But I would even take the 49ers on the spread too, just because I think they probably win by 14-17 there, maybe more. But I do think the Packers are going to be able to score a little bit. And I don't need much from them, like 14-17, maybe to 21. would be great for that total. So I'm going to take the over 50.
Nice. Yeah, I struggled with this one. Obviously, a little bit of pride in there that doesn't want to pick the Packers. Don't know if I trust the Niners. I don't know. I think the Niners should be a wagon. Everyone's like surefire pick to win the NFC. So it's like, yeah, of course. The public's all over the Niners still. I just think the Packers have been playing in close games a lot lately, and they've proven week in and week out that they're better than people think. And that's right, because I thought the same thing going in the Dallas game that Cam said, where it's like the Packers aren't good. They're not. And Jordan Love, yeah, he's better than I expected. Yeah, he's good. We got to say that. But I just think they're going to play in a close game. They're not going to be able to do what they did last week. It's going to be a lot more on Love this week to make the plays, and he's going to need to throw for 250, 300 yards. There's your underdog play. Go higher than 250.5 with Jordan Love if you think the Packers have any shot in this game, because he's going to need to do it. Mm-hmm. But the Niners have not allowed a 100-yard rusher at all this season. So he's not going to have the same Aaron Jones type performance that we saw last week where he goes for $118 and 3 touchdowns. Like, that's just not going to happen this week. So the Packers are going to need to find another way. But with that said, I think it's a close game. I think it hovers around the total. I don't know if I'd take over, but I'm going to take the Packers plus 9.5, and it hurts every bone in my body to do so.
I genuinely think this game is going to be 38-10. Like, I don't think it's going to be close.
We should make it 38-14, though.
Yeah, okay.
For that total.
I don't think. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Goodness. Yeah, no, it makes me sick. It makes me sick to even have the Packers advance to this weekend.
You'd be ashamed of yourself, to be honest.
I know. I feel disgusting. I'm going to go take a shower and drink
There's
some blue
actually
peppers.
one bet, and I know we kind of already talked about the game, but I do like the Texans are 35-1 right now to win it all. I'm not saying it's going to happen. They need a lot of really good things to go right, but 35-1 on the Texans is like, it's like you can't not bet it. You have to bet it. So I'm going to put a half unit on that. And if they somehow just keep rolling, it leaves you for a nice hedge, at least if they make it all the way. Obviously, they have 2 games that they absolutely would have to win. But at 35-1, that's crazy. So I just wanted to throw that. I forgot about that. I'm going to throw that little tidbit in there.
Hell yeah. Sammy, that's like me drunk at Canterbury. If I see 35-1 on the board, it's getting bad.
Hammered. Especially if the horse's name is an alcohol name.
Yeah, something.
You just have to do it. I saw it, and I had to double check it twice, make sure 35-1. I mean, throw $20. That's $700. Like, you have to do it. You have to do it.
Exactly. Love it. Man, only 2 games on Saturday. And now we're on to Sunday already. The 2 p.m. start, by the way, absolutely brutal. I can't stand it. Start the game at noon. Not having a noon game last weekend almost absolutely crushed me.
You know what we need? They need to do a noon game and then a Sunday or like a night game. Leave the middle for us to like gather ourselves for what the fuck just happened. Allow us to maybe take a nap, eat something, and then do a night game. I don't want to wait till 3 or 3:30. Allows you to sleep in, I guess, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, so 2 p.m. on Sunday, we got Bucks Lions. The South Campus of the U of M, Tampa Bay, Co Keefe, Antoine Winfield. The Bucks are 6-point dogs here, and they have a total of 48.5.
That's all pro Antoine Winfield to you?
All pro Antoine Winfield. Pro Bowl snub was put in as a reserve, and then he makes all pro. That's how you just showed.
Future Minnesota Viking, Antoine Winfield Jr.
Ooh, that's bold. Hey, they could have had him the first time around. Everyone likes to talk about Kyle Hamilton not getting drafted, but Antoine Winfield, we got Jeff Gladney instead of Antoine Winfield.
R.I.P.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
That did slip my mind for a second.
Winfield is a free agent, though.
No way they don't throw him a bag with a defensive coach like Bowles. Oh, yeah. Cam, go ahead. Give us your pick on this one, though.
I'm sorry, I missed it. What was the spread again?
6 points. Lions are favored by 6. 48.5 is the total.
I'm going Detroit -6. There's something special with that city right now. If like the environment last Sunday night was electric. Detroit's never experienced this. I think it's not even a Cinderella run because they were good all year, but a playoff Cinderella run because no one really thinks that Detroit can win a Super Bowl. And I'm not saying they can win a Super Bowl, but I think they win this game. They give themselves the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl in the NFC Championship game against the 49ers, where they probably lose by 14 again. But nonetheless, Lions -6.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't hate the pick. Don't hate the pick. Sammy, what do you like?
This one's really tough for me. I completely agree with what Cam said. I don't see the Lions losing the football game. I don't. They're at home. There might be some magic in the water in Detroit right now. First time in forever that they've been in this position. The offense is so good. I might try to do a little tease with this one. I'm pretty sure I can get Detroit at like a pick 'em on that side. And then I'd have to figure out if I like the over or under better. But for this sake, let's go with the over because I hate betting unders. So that would be what's the total you said that was?
48.5.
48. So you get 42. You go Lions pick 'em over 42. Likely what I'll do, I do think that there's probably a pretty good chance that they do cover that 6, but I'm not sure I want to take that risk in the game, so I'd rather just have to pick them there. But I do think the Lions are going to win the football game.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was just gonna say last year, do you remember like all these like close spreads or like right around a touchdown, I think every divisional game was, and they were all blowouts.
All of them.
And that's where I was like, I remember like last year, like the Giants, they beat the piss out of the Vikings, and then they were like 8.5-point dogs at Philly. We're like, oh, divisional game at Philly. Philly just blew the doors off them.
Yeah. I was going to throw in a prop bet there too. I'm not trying to steal your thunder, Mike, because I know this is your guy. But if you're looking for an anytime touchdown scorer, it's Mike Evans. He's not going out without a bang. They're going to lose, I think. But Mike Evans, everyone's saying he's old and washed because he hasn't scored in 4 weeks, which is an insane sentence. There's people actually saying that.
I think I said that the other night. I was like, hot take, is he washed?
No, he is.
Mike Evans is so unusual. Like if he doesn't score in 4 weeks, it's like, is he washed? Like
he's going to score. Alive? He's going out with a bang. He wants to get that retirement contract because he is also a free agent. No matter where he goes, he's going to get a bag for the last time in his career. Anytime touchdown, Mike Evans. It's probably like -300 as it should be, but
no, I think it's pretty reasonable.
Actually. No, it's right around even. Yeah, it's usually right around even. But I remember I hammered that throughout the regular season. It was plus money like until week 8 or 9. You could get it at like 130 or 150. It was nuts. Mm-hmm. But yeah, still, I'll throw that in an underdog entry if I need something. Mm-hmm. But Renz, how we feeling?
Good. I had Detroit -6 too. I think they're going to stomp them personally. I think Baker Mayfield, they beat the Eagles they're just not the same Eagles that they were last year. They just fucking steamrolled them. But I think they get rolled on Sunday. So Detroit -6, but I do love on underdog Sam Laporta. It's a spicy pick. It pays out 1.5 times. Sam Laporta over a half a touchdown. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. He was banged up, got hurt against the Vikings in week 18, played last week, played okay. But Goff loves to look for him, especially in the red zone. So especially throw him in that underdog pick'em entry, get a little better odds.
Right.
Can't go wrong.
I was surprised last week because he caught a touchdown last week, I believe. And I was like, he looked so hobbled in warmups. When I saw that video, I was like, there's no way he's active.
Right.
And then they activated him. I was like, what? Like, didn't he basically just blow out his knee last week against the Vikings?
Dude, they have potions in Detroit right now.
Yeah.
They'll use
that Flint water, huh?
Yeah, it's
he was using voodoo. Like that's a real thing. Like he used voodoo magic to heal his knee.
Ford Field is not real.
No.
It's fucking magical. And part of me, can you imagine if it was Packers Lions NFC Championship hosted by the Lions? part of me, like, I fucking hate the Packers, but part of me kind of wants to see that. The Lions hosting an NFC Championship game? What are we even talking about?
I think the Lions win the NFC personally with the way they're playing. I guess depending on how San Francisco looks this weekend, if they barely skate by the Niners, and the Lions steamroll the Bucks.
Yeah,
everyone's going to be on the Lions.
There's people like Vikings fans that would hate the Lions if they made it to the Super Bowl or whatever. Like, I don't care if they're in our division. Like, good for them. They fucking deserve it. They went to hell forever.
Yes.
And we didn't.
Oh, we did, but they've never even been
to
Super Bowl.
Yeah, but like, what if they even have the chance to win it? That's where I'm just like, man. The Vikings have been so close so many times, and they blew it so many times, and this team gets their first shot in 100 years. They're one of those 100-year franchises. Maybe it sounds a little petty on my end, but I'm like, no, fuck that.
Also,
the Purple got to get one first, or I'm giving up.
Not only do Lions fans deserve it, the city of Detroit does.
No.
Yes, they do. Their other teams are the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers right now.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all of them right now. Awful.
They did just get. Michigan did just win the national championship. Michigan's doing okay.
I'm talking professional sports, like.
Okay, let's just take a person my age. Let's just say it's somewhere between 28 and 32 years old. How many?
Red Wings were good.
Red Wings were really good. The Pistons have 2 championships since.
I get it.
Yeah,
but the past couple of years have been tough.
No, I'm not buying. I'm not feeling bad for them. The Tigers went to the World Series a couple times. No remorse. No remorse. No one, not in the last 30 years, not even one Minnesota Big Four sports team has went to a championship game.
No, I know.
To play for a title, which it sucks. But yeah.
No, I'm not saying that I feel bad for them compared to us because we're obviously worse, but I still feel bad for them.
Maybe this year though.
We would never hear the end of it, man. It would be the end of the Vikings franchise as a whole.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, you're right. Sammy, you have a reason for optimism, right? With the Pups.
I'm telling you, this Pups team is so incredibly fun. I've never experienced anything like that in my entire life, especially for Timberwolves. As opposed to any of the other, core sports. Timberwolves are awesome, and they play tonight at 9 p.m. on TNT. You better be watching it. They're great, and I'm totally a bandwagon fan because, like, I think I've went to like one Timberwolf game ever. I've never really followed them, but God, does it feel great to have a team like that?
I'm just not sold on it. I'm not going to get my hopes up. This reminds me of that year when Jimmy Butler brought him to the playoffs. Now, granted, this team's a lot better than that one.
A lot better.
And then we won that one game. I was there. We won one game against the Rockets in the playoffs at home. I was going to buy season tickets. I'm the biggest Wolves fan ever, and then we lost the series 4-1.
I mean, that's kind of your fault for getting an 8 seed.
I was just excited, and we're inevitably going to go on a cold streak at some point in the season. We're not going to stay this hot. It's going to happen.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, if you weren't here for Sebastian Telfair, Rashad McCants, Alexei Shved, Andre Kessler, I could keep going. If you weren't here, I don't know if you could be here for Ant, Cat, and Gobert. Like, I've been a Wolves fan, and I've watched them religiously for my whole life, and I've never seen anything like this. It's fucking great.
And that's why I'm saying it, because like I totally can't take credit. I can't even be a fan because I've never really followed them. I've just never really been an NBA fan. It just feels good to have something going right in Minnesota sports.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, hop on, Sammy.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on, baby.
Total bandwagon, but God, it's just fun to feel something.
Amen to that.
Yeah, preach.
I haven't picked this game yet, have I? Underdog, my favorite. This might be my favorite stat of the whole weekend, any game. Jahmyr Gibbs, higher than 24.5 receiving yards. And I just really like that one. He usually gets, I think he's set at 3.5 receptions as well. Against these bigger teams, more physical teams, David Montgomery usually gets most of the carries, but they don't abandon Gibbs overall. That's why I really like him. As for the game, this is another one of those things. Like, was it like I have the same thoughts I did with the 49ers and Packers, whereas like, was the Packers win fluky? Are they going to blow a tire this week? And that's why I think about the Bucs. Like that Philly team was just absolutely fraudulent. But and that's why I think my play on this one is going to be the over. A dome game, like you said, maybe we get a Mike Evans touchdown. They have weapons all over the place for the Lions. So I'm taking the over in a dome game.
It's always a good play in a dome game.
Mm-hmm.
Can't help it. Dome game under 50 is the total. Absolutely, I'm taking the over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Any other you guys have any other underdog plays that you had for this matchup? You said, Mike Evans. Like Mike Evans is always on there for a touchdown score. Jahmyr Gibbs. We had the Laporta. I didn't know if we had any others like Montgomery. I didn't see Montgomery touchdown on there. That's one that's usually up there.
Yeah, I put in 5, and it was just very spread out throughout all 4 games. But it was just a $30 entry. It was Tucker over 1.5, or higher than 1.5. Aaron Jones higher than 67.5 rushing. That gets me a little worried because of that stat you showed me, or you said about the 49ers like not allowing rushing yards, period. But I already put that in. So higher than 67 on Aaron Jones, higher than 40.5 on Kincaid, and we'll talk about that in our next game. But then I also have higher than 80.5 with Nico Collins, and then higher than 8.5 targets for Mike Evans. So it's a total long shot. Like I said, 30 pays you $600 total long shot, but I just wanted to have some fun with that.
Oh yeah, throw a dart. Let's see it. And then we got that's 3 down, 1 to go. Buffalo is favored by 3 points against the Chiefs, and this is Pat Mahomes' first road playoff start. It's his 7th year in the league, which I thought was crazy already. That's year 7 for him. And we got a total of 45.5 points here. Cam, who are you taking?
Bills and the points. I think the Bills finally get theirs. They've been, what is it, like, I don't know how many years they've just been so close, and then they always lose to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
They're finally home. Mahomes hasn't played an away playoff game since I don't maybe ever. It is the first time ever, right?
First time, yep.
Which is insane for one. But I think the Bills finally get theirs. I think Diggs goes off. This is the Diggs revenge game where he's in the confetti on the AFC Championship game. The famous photo. I think Diggs goes nuts, and I think the Bills, another city that deserves it. And you won't argue with me on that one because nothing else happens in Buffalo because the Sabres don't exist. Buffalo deserves it. Buffalo, I'm going with the feel-good story again. Buffalo and the points for sure.
We should, speaking of like nothing going on in Buffalo, like we should start a GoFundMe for their stadium in Buffalo. Like when they were talking about like snow removal last week, I was like, wait, this stadium was actually built in the 70s and like they just never renovated it.
They're building a new one.
Yeah, they are building a new one, which is smaller somehow,
Which is
and
smart.
also outdoors. It's like, well, why would you build smaller? Like they're on the up and up.
I guess, but it's also like how many people can you fit in Orchard Park at one time, right?
That's fair.
It's going to be a smaller, more hostile environment because that place is going to be loud as shit.
Just make it like Kinnick Stadium where the fans are just right on top of you.
Pretty much.
Just a personal hell. I was actually hoping that Buffalo would play their like games while the stadium is being built in Toronto again. Remember they did like a couple games in Toronto, played at the Rogers Center.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. I mean, that's like what, 40,000 people, 50,000 people in there. So it's like barely an NFL crowd, but that'd be electric.
Yeah, no, the Buffalo Stadium's a dump. Cam, you were at the Buffalo Vikings game last year, right?
Yeah, the stadium's a dump. It's a great atmosphere. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I really like appreciate it was awesome. But the stadium is a shit show. And their pizza tastes like Play-Doh.
Worst stadium food I've ever had.
Oh my
It
God.
was bad. And like
that's kind of shocking.
and like beer and like drink options, I feel like the only options were like giant Labatt Blues or like giant Trulies, and I'm like, I don't really want either of these. Like, and like, but like that's just what you had. I had like a dozen Coors Lights before I went in, and it's just like I guess I just got to maintain at this point.
Yeah,
Eat
Renz
this
and I
really shitty hot dog.
Renz and I absolutely got into one in the tailgate before.
Yeah,
And then when we got in, it was just welcome to hell. Like there's nothing edible here.
And like I remember I took a piss. It was like after the first quarter, I went to take a piss, and I was like in there, and I remember walking down the stairs to my seats, and there was like 6 minutes left in the second quarter. I'm like, holy shit! Like there just wasn't enough bathrooms. Like it just took that long. I remember the line. I'm like, is this really the line? They're like, yep, all the way to the back. I'm like it took like almost a quarter to take a piss and get like a beer. I'm like,
it's like
I'm holding it. I'm not going to.
Literally, Renz, you were there this year. The complete opposite of Denver. Granted, the concourses in Denver were bad. They were super crammed, but the food was great. The beers were awesome, and the lines for the bathroom were short every time. They haven't figured out. And that's
the one disappointing thing about Denver, tough to find a Coors Light in that stadium. And then being the home of Coors Light, I think it's like an NFL thing because they're like a Bud Light or like an Anheuser-Busch thing or something like that. But still, it's like, I'm in Denver. Like they have it there, but like you got to find it.
My section was right by this like stick ass like exclusive like Bud Light thing, but like I had unlimited Busch Light right by my section. It was fantastic.
There you go. You were in heaven.
That's awesome, dude. I had the exact opposite in Vegas, where new stadium, like you think they'd have like updated concourses and bathrooms. Like the bathroom situation there was awful. There's like 4 total, 4 giant bathrooms, and like there's people coming downstairs from upstairs to go take a piss. I'm like,
what a
wait,
disaster.
you said you're in section 420 and you're down here taking a piss? Like, and then you go to get a beer and it's like Modelo or Topo Chico seltzers, and it's like, okay, dude.
Welcome to the desert, baby. Shit.
And then there was 3 points scored the whole game, but I digress. Sam, what do we got on the Bills Chiefs?
I'm just going back with that teaser. I'm not doing anything else with the Texans plus 15.5 and the Chiefs plus 8.5. I do agree with Cam though. This is totally the game that Buffalo gets their revenge after all these years of kind of living in Kansas City shadow a little bit. I just didn't want to lay the points with Buffalo. I'd rather have 8.5. I feel like this game, typically with these two teams, they're just back and forth. I think it probably goes down to a field goal. But even worse, if it does, I can afford a Chiefs lose by a touchdown and still cover that teaser. So I don't see, with the Chiefs defense being so good, a top 5 defense, I don't see them getting like blown out by any means. And I think Kelsey probably finally has he's kind of struggled the last like 4 or 5 weeks. I think he gets it going. Rashee Rice has been really, really good. I do think that Buffalo will probably win this game. But I just think Chiefs keep it within that 8.5. Maybe they lose by 4 or 5, or even worse, lose by 8. I don't care. But yeah, that's all I got on this one. I don't really know where else to go with it. Maybe I'll just take the over because both of these teams typically are in shootouts every time they play. But for now, I'm just on that teaser.
I will say, compared to last year, I think 3 out of these 4 games are going to be very fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
The Niners game is not going to be fun to watch, but the other 3 I think they're going to be exciting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on your point on Kelsey, I've been waiting for it too. Mm-hmm. And I hope he stays in his shell at this point. Like, fuck that. I had him on my fantasy team in championship weekend. I had him and Jefferson combined for like 13 points and I lost. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you got to be kidding me, Kelsey. Yeah. He's due though. If the Chiefs are going to win this game, he's going to have something to do with it. Rashee Rice though, amazing the last few weeks.
Yeah. And I think Pacheco's going to continue to do his stuff on the ground. He's been a dog. He's been crazy good. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I think the Bills will probably win this game. They're so due, but give me the points on this one with plus 8.5. As far as I don't know if I would take plus 3, but at plus 8.5, I like it a lot more.
Fair enough. Renz, how about you?
Kind of same thing. Bills, I mean, 2.5 is not a ton of points. I think the Bills are going to win this game. I think it'll be close, but I think it's one of those where they'll probably be up the whole game. I don't know. I like the over better. I think both teams are going to score. The over is going to be my main play on this one, but I do think the Bills win. I think they win by more than 3. The play I love though on underdog, Diggs to score a rushing or receiving touchdowns. Diggs hasn't had a receiving touchdown since week 13.
Yeah.
Oh my.
This guy, he's fucking due. And like Cam was saying, I think he's going to have something to prove a little bit. He's going to want to be the guy that gets them there too. I think he's going to be calling for the ball. He's going to be telling Allen, throw me the ball. And it's tough because they have a lot of weapons they can throw to. I mean, they got, especially down the red zone, they got the 2 tight ends who are great options.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a whole plethora of receivers, but I think Diggs is going to want the ball. And that's just kind of his personality. That's how he was here. He wants the ball. He's kind of a drama queen. He's going to be asking for it. And I think this is the time he finally gets it. And that's a spicy pick too.
Yeah.
On underdog. So
do we know if Gabe Davis is playing? Because he didn't play.
I know. Yeah.
Last game, and that would help
questionable
if he didn't.
Yeah. I think he's questionable. I don't know if he's for
like
sure.
I know he liked Shakir too. As another wide receiver, but without Gabe Davis, definitely Diggs sees a lot more targets, for that aspect. So
yeah. And can we just all agree we want a Buffalo Detroit Super Bowl? We cool with that?
That'd be sick.
That's all I want.
Buffalo.
That's what I want. I want a Buffalo Detroit Super Bowl.
Or Texans Detroit.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. But Houston, good story, but Detroit and Buffalo, what a Super Bowl. What a couple of wild fan bases that would be.
Yeah, Vegas too.
Vegas would be a disaster that week. Oh my God. That'd be so fun. Oh man. I'm rooting for that bad.
Goodness gracious. I can get on board with that actually. If the Lions are gonna go, they better be playing the Bills. I'll say that much.
Does anyone want to really see the Niners and Ravens?
That's the last thing I want to see.
Oh,
and that's what everyone
Does anyone want to see
But
the fucking
unfortunately,
Chiefs and Niners? No.
possibly what it's going to be is Chiefs or Niners Ravens, just because they've been like the best team. I think there's a chance that there's a different matchup. It would be, I think, more fun. But those two teams are so damn good. I don't know if it will be a different matchup, but I agree. Like, it'd be nice to see a more fun matchup like you were talking about.
Yeah. And I'll just do my pick really quick. Bills -3. And I have another topic. Cam, what the fuck, man? The Golden Gophers just goes final here. Michigan State 76, Minnesota 66. Cam, are you ready to back off the Gophers?
Oh, I'm off. I'm obviously still a fan. I'm still gonna watch them every game. This is where I get into my college basketball rant of our episode.
Ready for it.
They pissed down their leg tonight. They're not making the tournament. This was their opportunity. They don't have a quad 1 win. This was a quad 1 win. The Michigan State is like 21 in the net and 18 in KenPom. Like, this was a game. They had them on the ropes. And then, like, for some fucking reason, when it matters most, Ben Johnson, who would you go to on this Gophers team to make a shot at the end of the game? You would go Elijah Hawkins, maybe Cam Christie. He fouled out, so they can't go him. Dawson Garcia. No, every fucking time. That's why when we were talking about football, I was shaking my head a lot. They went to Mike Mitchell every time. The dude shoots bricks. Like, Mike Mitchell cannot be the call there. He has been awful, like, the past couple games. It's frustrating. It really is. I don't think they're going to make the tournament anymore. I did have a sneaking suspicion that they could. I think even now, like, even if they go 500 in the Big Ten, like I said before, they probably won't make it because they don't have any quad 1 wins. They're only 2-2 in quad 2. Like, that's not enough. All their wins are in quad 3 and 4, that's just cupcake territory. Like, that doesn't do anything. The committee doesn't care about quad 3 and 4 unless you lose a game there. It can't hurt you, or it can't help you. It can only hurt you. So the Gophers are fucked. And that game frustrated me so much.
No, it's been a crazy roller coaster because I remember we sat on this stream talking about they might not win a game in Big Ten conference, and then it immediately flipped to like they can make the tournament.
Yeah, I did say that.
And it was just crazy. And now we're back to like we're bottom 14 in the Big Ten, possibly. Like,
yeah, it's frustrating. I did want to touch for college basketball futures. Last week, remember I said North Carolina. That's my team, man. That's my team this year. They last week, or no, not last week. We recorded 2 weeks ago. They were plus 3,000 to win the tournament. You should have got it then when I told you to, because they're up to plus 1,600.
Oh,
that's a fucking jump.
That's a hit.
The team's on fire. They have everything that you need to win a championship. I'm all in on North Carolina. And then another team, Mike's been hard on this team too, is Kentucky. I know they're young, but they have length. They have guard play. North Carolina and Kentucky. I think this Final Four is going to be blue bloods. It's going to be a traditional blue blood Final Four. It's not going to be like last year where we had FAU and San Diego State. The fourth team's escaping my brain right now for some reason because I know obviously UConn was in
Miami.
There. Yeah, Miami. Not a blue blood and not a team that normally makes a Final Four. Also, Miami's been awful. I don't know if you've seen that. They've lost 2 games in a row at home against horrible teams. But I like right now, without looking at a bracket, if I had to say a Final Four, I would go UConn, North Carolina, Auburn, and then a Big 12 team, whether it's Baylor. I don't think it's going to be Kansas because that would be too chalk, or Houston, but like a Baylor. Texas is going to miss the tournament, by the way.
How funny was that yesterday?
Holy fuck.
Oh my gosh. That
Texas,
was so funny.
Let me pull this up quick. Texas they lost at home to UCF. You can't do that.
And then the coach cries about
doing the horns
players
down.
doing horns down to him on there.
Like Rodney Terry, I'm sorry, but like you are a head coach at Texas. No matter what sport you are, people are going to horns down you. And then they lost to West Virginia. Like West Virginia is fucking horrendous. Texas is going to miss the tournament. The Big 12 though is fun. The 4 teams that came into the Big 12 this year, obviously Houston's Houston, but then Cincinnati, BYU, UCF, everyone thought that they would be awful. They are good, and UCF probably won't make the tournament, but the other 2 will. Like right now, I don't know. College basketball, it's fucking fun right now.
You know who is going to make the tournament? Nebraska Cornhuskers.
That is debatable.
I mean, how do you not? Even if they have a shitty second half, they beat the best team in the country. How do you not?
That doesn't matter.
Oh, it'll matter. It'll matter.
If
they make a little run in the Big Ten tourney, Tominaga, like I said, Tominaga will take over the country. He will be the story of early March.
Everyone loves a dude that can just make everyone just loves a dude that can just make.
So Renz, I just saw a highlight video. That guy is unbelievable. He's awesome.
Yeah,
he is. But that's like, if he doesn't show up, they're fucked. Like they got shit on by Iowa last Friday. Like shit on.
Well, that's what's great. Since they beat Purdue, they kind of played like shit.
Yeah, they got shit on by Iowa, and then they just lost last night
Rutgers.
to Rutgers. That's a bad Rutgers team. You can't do that.
It's hard to win at the rack, man.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's a weird team, but they're good. They're good. And I think that if they can just sneak into that, if they can get like a 11 seed, 12 seed, or something like that,
they're not winning a game.
Let's roll, baby.
Man,
No.
I will. If Nebraska wins the NCAA tournament, I will be betting them money line to win that first round game, 100%.
You mean if they make it?
Yeah, if they make it,
they win the tournament.
No, if they make it into the tournament.
I was like, whoa.
They might. I mean, I could see them making a run in the Big Ten tourney. The Big Ten's not that good. I mean, they're good. They're not that good.
The Big Ten is down this year for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. This NBA draft is really, really down. But every conference besides the SEC and the Big 12 is down. Like the Mountain West might get 6 schools in, which personally for me, I love. I love the Mountain West. Like if you guys have nothing to do on a weeknight or even on the weekend, tune into Mountain West basketball at late night. Like it doesn't matter if it's Boise State and UNLV. Like it's electric.
Is Hawaii any good? Are they playing at like
they're not
1 in the morning?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know Hawaii had a basketball team. I've
Mhm.
never heard of Hawaii basketball.
Really?
They do. They
Yeah,
do.
it's a college football thing, right? When you talk about we still have Hawaii. I haven't heard of that in basketball.
Yeah, they're in the Big West, which is it's always a one big conference. Hawaii is not.
How
great.
does that work? How do you in the Mountain West for football but not basketball?
They would get destroyed in the Mountain West.
I guess
Also,
basketball travels a little different.
and also they were in the Big West, if I'm not mistaken, before football moved to the Mountain West. Because I don't know, it's a little weird, but like that is common. Like there's a lot of schools that are in different conferences. for
Usually
basketball.
football and basketball, they keep them together for at least like conferences you've heard of.
Yeah, for like big name schools, but otherwise, like these lower name schools or lower conferences, it's all fucked up. Because there's so many teams that like you look at the Big East for an example, like the Big East in football.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Big East. Well, yeah, the American
Right.
is in football is what the Big East was.
Because every like if you go to the Big East in basketball, let me look at their standings right now. There is not one school in the Big East for basketball that is a D1 football school besides UConn. But UConn's an independent. Like they're all FCS.
UConn's in the AAC for football.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. They used to be an independent. But otherwise they're all wait, UConn's an independent, bro. I'm pretty sure.
No, they're in the AAC.
Was that just new? That must be just recent then.
Let me look.
If they're independent, yeah, because the only independent team, there's only like 4 of them left. Now that BYU's in.
Is UMass, was that one of them?
UMass.
The FBS independents, there's 4 of them. Notre Dame, UMass, Army, and UConn.
Mm-hmm.
They are independent. The only reason why I did know this too is because I've been playing NCAA football 14 so much.
Oh.
And I looked up like the conferences now because I made them like what they are now. And yeah, UConn's an independent. UConn's also a horrible football school.
Oh my God. I tweeted that earlier this week, but I'm literally buying a PS5 when college football comes out. I'm
if it ever does, EA's on my shit list.
Yeah, they were supposed to do a preview during the Natty.
No, they weren't.
The Michigan game. Yeah,
I know, but people keep leaking shit and like they're claiming that they never were supposed to, but they still have to give us something, right? And then they said, "Oh, July 12th or whatever it was," and they said that was wrong. I'm like, we're never getting this game.
But they know that people are going to be pissed if they just like roll out college uniforms in Madden gameplay. Like they know people just won't have that. So I think that they're trying to keep expectations in check a little bit because we're going to get Madden with college uniforms.
I don't even care, man.
Give me something. Give me Road to Glory. Give me Online Dynasty, and let me just fucking recruit my team so I can take Southwest Missouri Central State to glory.
And by the way, if it ever happens, which I'm sure it will, if they make another NCAA basketball game, like I just have goosebumps even saying those words. I might take a month off work. I might become a full-time Twitch streamer. That game would consume my life.
Just be one of those guys that you see on, like when you wake up in the morning, you're on TikTok and you just see a guy that's asleep on live.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Like I wake up, take a shit in the morning. I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely should fucking
just live stream my UC Irvine dynasty and just fall asleep on camera.
That'd be awesome. I don't know which NCAA basketball video game was, but it had like the actual ESPN score bug on it.
Yeah.
The last one, NCAA basketball, or 09 had ESPN, if I remember right, but 10 is fantastic because not only does it ESPN, but it has CBS.
Yeah.
They need.
I miss it.
Did they say the new football would feature ESPN? I'm pretty sure they did.
I thought it was ESPN. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they said they were gonna have what is it? Not Nestler. Herb Street. Yeah, and Fowler. That's what it was.
Great. At least they're doing that part right, but they'll never have CBS as well because there's just too much money now.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I personally like CBS over ESPN when it comes to any sport. That like if you watch Mountain West basketball at night, which you should do, that's your homework for the week. It's always on CBS Sports Network, and the CBS college basketball song is the great. It's Nirvana.
Dude, on those broadcasts, do they have the announcers that sound like it might be their first game announcing?
No, that's if you're watching like Lehigh versus Bucknell.
That's what I like the ESPN3 where it sounds like they pulled
ESPN
someone out of
Plus,
the
baby.
yeah, where they pulled
CBS
someone out of the stands and they're like, yeah, it's all you, man.
Yeah,
Give-
CBS Sports
give it
Network
all.
like that. Like on I can't remember. It was someday this week. I watched Hampton and North Carolina A&T on CBS Sports Network, and it was like, oh yeah, these guys there.
Who's the guy
favorite.
from Fox? He did FS1 broadcast for a while, like 5 years ago, and he would just like scream, and they had no idea how like sensitive his mic was. He was the guy who called the Winfield game-winning interception against Fresno.
Yeah,
And I can't remember. He was like, caught, it's intercepted. And he was like so loud that it literally like it caused static in everyone's TV at home. And they're like,
I can't remember his name, but I know who you're
yeah,
talking.
it's ridiculous. Anyways, we're totally getting off track here.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. And good luck on your bets this weekend. And peace out.
Peace
See you
out.
later.
See you now.